Chapter 19. A keen sense of humor helps us to overlook the unbecoming, understand the unconventional, tolerate the unpleasant, overcome the unexpected, and outlast the unbearable. Billy Graham. Motoring in on the back of a small wave, our Zodiac nudges up against a seaweed-laced rock. Captain and I leap ashore as the inflatable boat quickly backs away. We scurry up a rocky ledge to avoid the next set of waves, then pause to survey dangerous reef. We are in South Australian waters, taking a little time out during our great white shark expedition to do a little sightseeing. A small pair of shy brown eyes, curiously watching us from a ledge a little higher up, is the object of this adventure. This colony of rare Australian fur seals seldom sees people. Dangerous Reef is a protected sanctuary, and visitors are allowed here by special permit only. Captain and I separate and slowly move forward, careful not to startle the young animals. It is late morning, so most of the fur seal pups, already having eaten breakfast, are fast asleep on the warm rocks. Almost losing my balance on a slick boulder, I accidentally dislodge a stone that bounces noisily down a ledge, awakening a threesome of sleeping pups. I hastily sit down so my height and my standing on two legs doesn't startle them. They peer inquisitively, then one of them boldly barks its curiosity. I softly bark back to reassure them that it's all right. The pups eye me suspiciously, but they are awfully tired, and one by one they nuzzle together and immediately go back to sleep. The pups look so cute, nestled among the moss-covered rocks. I take a couple of pictures with my camera, then move silently closer for a better angle. I am but 5 feet away when the click of the camera wakes the pup who barked at me. He sits up and eyes me warily. Gruff, who are you? He barks. A friend. I gently rumble back. The sound I'm making is very close to the soft rumble of a contented dog who is getting its ears scratched. Often on expedition, I have found that by lightly mimicking the friendlier sounds an animal makes, I can encourage them to feel more at ease with my presence. The pup lays back down, but continues to watch me through half-closed eyes. I discreetly slide a little closer, then closer yet. I am merely 2 feet away when the pup warily sits up again. From close up, his eyes appear slightly crossed. Abruptly, he leans forward and loudly sniffs my face. We are nose to nose with the pungent smell of warm fish breath wafting into my nostrils from an inch away. Sitting absolutely still, I wonder what is going to happen next. The pup's nose moves to my jacket, my trousers, then the small furry head drops into my lap. The pup nuzzles a little closer and is instantly fast asleep. For 15 minutes I sit quietly with fish breath drooling on my jeans. I lightly rub behind his ears and stroke the soft fur under his neck. I am quite content, except for the warm, wet feeling of fish drool soaking into my 501 jeans. Fish breath starts snoring loudly. Then one of his flippers begins to beat against my chest as he dreams, probably about chasing fish. Idly I glance about, then suddenly see Capkin waving urgently at me. He points anxiously toward another seal pup down closer to the water. It appears to be wrestling with itself, and it rolls and thrashes in the sand. Then I see the fishing net. Quickly I move the sleeping fur seal off my lap and scamper rapidly across the rocks. Captain and I instantly agree on a soundless plan as both of us move in from opposite directions. The hapless fur seal is wearing a deadly necklace. Most of the nylon fishing net has been chewed away, except for a tight collar that encompasses the pup's neck. If the fishing net is not removed, the fur seal will suffer a terrible death by choking or suffocation. The pup sees us coming and instantly flees towards the water. There is no opportunity for a slow or careful approach. If the pup reaches the surf, we won't be able to help it. Captain and I rush forward. Leaping over a boulder, I'm barely able to block its path to the water. The pup turns and starts to flee to my right, but Captain does a diving tackle, capturing it at the last possible instant. Angry teeth attempt to bite, so we quickly wrap Captain's jacket around its head. Unable to see, the young animal slowly becomes more manageable. Talking softly to the frightened pup, I began to examine the damage, which is horrible. The pup, which is about half a year old, has been wearing this deadly collar for several months. In that time, the pup has grown, which means the unyielding nylon has bitten deeply into the soft skin around his throat. Using the scissors on my Swiss Army knife, I began cutting away the nylon strands. Some of them are buried a full quarter-inch deep into the tender flesh. The fur seal pup whimpers in pain, which breaks my heart. I whisper encouragement in soft words, but continue to cut and gently pull away the deadly man-made fiber. Finally, I'm done. I take a few moments to examine the wound. There is very little swelling and no visible infection. I have no doubt that the pup will fully recover. I pet him lightly and tell him how brave he has been, then nod at Capkin to remove his jacket. Releasing the pup, we watch him run for the water. He plunges into an oncoming wave, then surfaces to peer back at us. He barks several times, not in gratitude, nor in anger, just a warning bark to other fur seals that dangerous humans are about. Watching the small animal work its way out through the surf, I think how unlucky his short life has been so far. For us, just like the fur seal pup, life is a gamble. We never know what tragedies might overtake us. If life wasn't risky, it wouldn't be so exciting. In every single day, there is a mystery waiting to be discovered. No one but God knows what rewards or penalties the future may hold. Life isn't particularly meant to be fair. Things happen. Sometimes it is no one's fault. So if something should ever go terribly wrong in my life, I hope that the Lord will grant me the courage to accept what I can't change. Meanwhile, I face life with a keen sense of humor, which I express often. Laughter is the best sort of medicine, though at the moment I am able to contain it as Capkin stares gloomily at the fur-sealed chewed hole in his jacket. Picking up the remains of the net, I signal the Zodiac to come get us. Then, looking back toward the rocks, I see the three sleeping pups and think about their future. Because a man, the South Australian fur seal, is an endangered species. First, because humans hunted them to near extinction for their fur pelts. Now we compete with them for fish and sometimes catch the unwary seals in our nets. People will probably never abandon net fishing, yet there are alternatives to what we are doing today. As with most businesses, money and profit are the prime motivators. Nylon nets are not biodegradable. When they break away and are lost at sea, The nylon nets continue to catch marine life. The net that caught this seal pup is encrusted with barnacles, which means it has been adrift for some time. Making fish nets out of a biodegradable materials means fish would cost a little more, but we would save a vast number of innocent marine creatures. Fishermen can be encouraged to use biodegradable nets if enough of us tell them how important it is to us. It just depends on how much we care. There's also something constructive we can do at home to help wild animals. Soda cans sold by the six pack are often connected with a web of plastic. Each of the plastic loops is a potential noose for a bird or if thrown into the water for a fish. Tens of thousands of wild animals die horrible deaths because of these deadly plastic traps that no one much thinks about. Next time you throw away these lethal plastic wraps, take a moment to cut the loops. Even better, consider recycling the plastic instead of throwing away a renewable resource. Back on the Alcyon, the rest of the crew are sitting down to dinner. Captain and I eagerly join the table of boisterous men. Most of the divers are taking large portions of the main course, which is fresh tuna. The man next to me raises a morsel of fish towards his mouth. Abruptly, his nose wrinkles as the fork stops in midair. The fish stinks, he loudly announces. The engineer who caught the tuna with a fishing pole is totally offended. I just caught this morning, he argues. The fish is fine. I too smell decayed fish, states Anton. It's Steve's pants. Capkin volunteers with a smile. His jeans are soaked with fur seal drool. After I change my pants, I return and take a helping of mashed potatoes and a large portion of green salad. I'm sure my fur seal pup friend would approve of me being a vegetarian. My decision leaves more fish for him, until he extends his circle of compassion to all living things. Man will not himself find peace. Albert Schweitzer.